The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
He said he was done forever.
He is done.
The end of this Trump era.
There'll be new faces and new voices.
The final chapter of Donald Trump.
I don't know what the future of this party can be.
The movement we started is only just beginning.
The entire system went after him.
Mar-a-Lago was raided by FBI.
New York indictment.
A sweeping indictment in
Donald
Georgia.
Trump says he's been indicted again.
I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear.
But he never stopped fighting for you.
I will never stop fighting for you, your family, and our magnificent country.
And we will win, win, win. We're going to win, win, win.
Thank you, President Trump, for fighting for us. The greatest political comeback in American history.
Donald Trump has been elected president.
Now, it's time we fight for you.
The golden age of America, that's what we have.
The best is yet to come.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Shit Show. Hey, Ruben. Thank you for joining me tonight. Orange Hat won't be here tonight. He says not feeling very well. And Bruce can't stay. He was here for a little bit backstage, but he's really exhausted too from his job and stuff. So it's just going to be Ruben and I tonight. But hopefully we won't bore you too much or whatever. But there's so much shit going on right now. It seems like it's good shit mixed along with a lot of bad shit.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, it's just been really, really hectic. But one thing I wanted to share with everyone before we get started is that there's so many people now that are like really, really scared for their family members and stuff because of the crackdown on the illegals. And I know that a lot of people are, just really worried about their loved ones. And, they just want to make sure that, they're okay. So I had this one video I found that I thought I would play it for everybody. Hold on, I'm trying to find it real quick because this guy's really worried about his loved ones. And I wanted to make sure you guys got to see it. So just give me 1 second. Oh, I thought I had it in order, but why do I never get this right?
It's a shit show. It's part of the brand.
It's terrible.
It's part of the brand.
I'm terrible at this. I can't find it. It's lost. I had them all in order and then.
Well, shit. Here we go again.
Sorry, guys.
Hello, Mr. Startup.
Maybe I did something with it on accident.
I'm vamping here. And I'll do mine.
Well, I guess I'll just play your little thing.
Oh, yes. I have two of them. I put two of them.
Okay, well, here's one of them. I'm going to play this because Ruben wanted everybody to see this. Do I need to make it big?
Yeah, make it big.
Okay, and you have to tell them what it is.
This is, again, everyone's probably seen this already. There's a guy in China, he sells LEDs, and he does funny videos. And again, he's doing the viral marketing correct. So we start off 2025 with funny things from China. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
I feel sorry for your trans friends.
I don't have any trans friends. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
Hello.
Goodbye. Anyways, if you want to start a business...
I am my boyfriend's first black girlfriend.
If you're black, then I'm the real Donald Trump himself. China, China. I know China very well. I know everybody in China.
Like, I am a trans man and I'm gay and I have been...
Isn't that being straight, but just with extra steps? Anyways, watch me put it down like this. From the top, make it drop. Very simple. My favorite expression in English is the one that says, never bite the hand of the one that fingers you. Something like that. China, China, China. If the USA is great again, then why did someone invented a USB? Actually, this is our A-frame acrylic.
The first three things a female notices in a man.
Don't care. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
I don't know why you find it so funny.
I'm so sorry. I wish I was darn it. Let me get over here so I can stop this one.
What, Jenny?
Okay, there we go. And now I got to open the other one. So just give me 1 second. Oh,
they're all funny. They're both
sucks. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to open the second one and get it ready for you. Push pause.
Making much noise.
Okay, and it's number 26. I'm trying to remember the number so that I can bring it up. Okay, here's the number 26 for you. You see it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna make it big for you. It's the same guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I'm Oliver. I'm Brian. I'm Dylan. And together we are gay as fuck. You guys are gay as fuck. Anyways, we've been making signings for more than 14 years. I support LGBT. Let's grow business together.
I feel sorry for your trans friends.
I don't have any trans friends. Anyways, here's how to tell if your LED sign is cheap.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Gangsta name is the color of your shirt and the last thing you ate. Who are you?
I'm Black Pizza.
I'm proud to be black.
And I'm proud to be Donald Trump. You know, tremendous place, really.
I am my boyfriend's first black girlfriend. And
if you're black, then I'm black too. We're bringing the studio this morning one of the gay rights activists, Mr. Pepe Julia Ozima. Thank you for coming in. Good morning. Why are you gay?
I'm looking for a man who listens. Any height, any guy.
I'm really starts to get sick of girls on these apps having such unrealistic expectations.
Sorry. Is it over now? I didn't get to watch it. I was too busy trying to find that video that I lost. I played it for Bruce, and I can't find it.
Go to your history. It's probably there.
Okay. I don't know how to do that either. So just give me 1 second.
Everyone did that right now. Everyone did a face. Oh, it hurt. It felt weird.
How do I?
I see colors.
It's on X, but damn it. Oh well, I'm just going to forget about it. I can't.
This portion of the shit show is right around the shit show that Jen
can't
is doing.
do anything about it. I'll
That's
say
fine.
hi to everybody in the chat really quick. Let's see. Snorter Princess, thank you for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. Hello. And then Jackie Blue, she came in earlier. Baby Girl, as always, stops in. And then let's see. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else. No, that's all that's over here in the chat. But I have some people over on X that I can't do anything about right now. Sorry, guys, I can't talk to you over there because there's no way for me to talk to you unless I go there and open it up and talk from over there. So I can't do that right now. I can barely even pull stuff up and do it on here the way I have it set up. But let's see. The first thing I wanted to present is, if I can get it to work, is that we, the whole thing about Trump's cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me pull that up. Oh, gosh, it's terrible.
China. Just kidding.
It's just terrible. I can't.
We love China.
Okay. Oh, first I wanted to play this for everybody who hadn't seen it yet. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
This is the reason why we never see mermaids anymore. Here we go.
Oh, God.
She ate her goggles off her head. Did you see that? It's a giant sturgeon in a tank.
Oh, it took her goggles. Okay.
Yeah, now watch her goggles. They just disappear. But the thing is, it had to have scared her to death.
Yeah, definitely.
And everybody's screaming in the restaurant when they see it because it looks like a shark, but it isn't. It's a sturgeon, and this is where we get a lot of caviar. We get these.
Yes,
get it from sturgeons.
Yep.
So here we go. She's gonna have nightmares for the rest of her life of almost being eaten by a giant shark, because that's what it looks like. It looks like a shark without a fin, a dorsal fin, basically. But you can tell by this line on its side, it's like a bony plates, that it's a sturgeon.
Right.
And I'm sure it scared her really, really bad. But
you know,
I really feel bad because I know it scared the pants off of her. But I just want to say hi to everyone. Sorry.
Start of Purpose's message is good.
Oh, we're way down here. It says
his cabinet is huge.
Yeah, it is huge. He's doing really good. I cannot believe everything he's done since he started, because it's like he's already done more to help our country than Joe Biden did in 4 years. And he's already been out in the press and talked on TV more than Joe Biden did in 4 years.
It's kind of funny. I had a prediction. I was on Brian Trippett, the Front Porch Conservatives live stream for the inauguration of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And he asked my thoughts. And you see it. My video's out there right now. You see it on YouTube. I basically said Trump will do more in 100 days than any other president in history. In fact, he'll do more in 100 days than Obama, Clinton, Bush, and Biden did in their entire presidencies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so. Pretty much. You're right. I mean, it's just he just hit the ground running, and all his cabinet is not even yet. So it's really going to be great. I mean, what was it? Kristi Noem? Is that what I was talking about earlier?
Yeah.
He's already out on the field, out there arresting people, going out and working with their team for Homeland Security. So, it's all of this is just really awesome. I mean, I'm happy about it, but just like he said, we're going to be sick and tired of winning. So it's what?
We're going to win too much. You're going to be sick and tired of winning. No, wait.
We're going to win. And we're
going to win so much. You get tired of winning.
But I wanted to play this because to me, this is epitome of basically where we are right now. So here we go.
Trump warned them and they didn't listen.
So we'll be announcing the tariffs on Canada and Mexico for a number of reasons. Number one is the people that have poured into our country so horribly and so much. Number two are the drugs, fentanyl, and everything else that have come into the country. And number three are the massive subsidies that we're giving to Canada and to Mexico in the form of deficits. And I'll be putting the tariff of 25% on Canada and separately 25% on Mexico.
The tariffs go into effect Saturday, so buy your maple syrup and Corona now. The administration's moving fast. You either get out of the way or get run over. Federal employees who don't come back to the office are getting the pink slip. Legacy media does not like that one bit.
Is there any concern that we risk losing people with years of experience like doctors and let's say scientists?
Well, most doctors who work in actual hospitals and medical institutions have to show up to the office.
Trump's offering a generous severance package for anyone who doesn't want to commute. But some bureaucrats want to fight. Some at the Labor Department said, quote, I'd rather be fired for resisting and making their lives hell. Even employees who are planning on quitting are staying just to resist. Quote, I was looking for any way to get out of this fresh hell. But now I am fired up to make these goons as frustrated as possible. Return to office, be damned. Trump's not just firing people, he's hiring them. The president talks so much more than Biden that the White House is adding more stenographers. Under Biden, they were bored, and now they're typing 20,000 words a day. And he's not just talking the talk. The Republican Party has its highest approval rating of all time. Democrats are desperate for a facelift. Last night, they held an emergency meeting to conjure up a counter strategy.
Oh, God.
Come up with eggs.
I feel like sometimes giving messaging advice to Democrats is like giving kids matches. It's like you say something about like inflation and the cost of living, and suddenly they're all out there being like, that's not going to do anything to lower the price of eggs. And it's like, come on, make it believable, guys. It's not believable right now. No one is out there thinking that Donald Trump was going to lower the price of eggs or lower the cost of everything after a week.
Eggs, Jan 6, DEI, deportations. Trump has Democrats playing whack-a-mole. And whatever they say about anything, no one is buying it.
My party needs to reestablish our credibility on a number of issues. We don't have the credibility that we need on issues like immigration, like DEI, dealing with racism and discrimination, like the economy. I think we need to spend more time reestablishing our own credibility, not just bashing on what Trump does.
The funny thing is, they're saying all this, right? And if you've watched any at all of the confirmation hearings, that's all they've done.
Yep.
Every question is Trump, 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 Trump.
Yeah.
You know, are you going to stand up to say no to Trump, 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 Trump? Do you believe that January 6th, you know, the whole thing with January 6th was insurrection? And then also, do you believe that Biden won? You know, just on and on and on. They cannot go one day without TDS.
But there was a conference that was like either yesterday or the day before yesterday, where the Democrats basically said, you know, trying to get a game plan for 2026 elections, and they basically said, how many of you do you agree that racism and misogyny is why Kamala Harris lost the election? They all raised their hands. So they don't know what's going on. They've lost it. They're going to continue to spread lies. And I again, you know, if you have like this is Fox News is using News Nation's video because people are leaving legacy media, even Fox News. And that's why for the first time ever, you have actual podcasters that are in the newsroom.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you when we first started the shit show? Remember what I said? What I thought was going to happen?
No, I don't remember.
People are going to get so freaking sick of the news because there isn't news anymore. You don't find out any information anymore. It's all one-sided, blah blah blah.
Right.
You're a racist. You hate blacks. You hate women. You know, women with a penis is a real woman. You know, all that shit. And I said people are leaving. Like you and I. You said you don't watch TV. I don't watch TV anymore. I get all my news from you know my few apps and from YouTube and watching videos on Rumble and things like that. That's where I get all my information. I think the news sucks. I don't trust them at all. I trust all of you guys, all my friends I've met on all these different apps more than I do any of the people in the news.
Right.
I mean, I like Tucker and a few
but
other.
They're not news anymore. They're not news. They basically they in 2016 they went full bore commentary and giving opinion as news. They were saying they're reporting news. You had Jim Acosta, who was fired recently, saying that I'm going to stand up, continue to stand up to bullies and tyranny and all that stuff. No, they're not. You're following along. They still don't get it.
They can't. There's like a vacuum in their head, and everything is just sucked in, and nothing can penetrate. Nothing can get in there because it won't let anything else in. It's like a bag full of dust, and they won't let you empty it. They won't let you empty and get a new bag. Yeah. It's really sad and pathetic, but you know, I don't see it. I don't see them changing. And just watching these hearings, I've been airing them every day. Yeah. So it's just really, it's really sad. Schumer, all of them, they're just bunches of dumbasses. They ask the same shit over and over and over.
Yes or no? Like, did you do this? Yes or no?
How do they keep getting elected? That's another thing. There has to be the worst cheating in history. Or these people really are that stupid? I mean, they really believe that if they don't have one of these dumbasses in charge, they won't get their checks, they won't eat, they won't have any place to live.
It's a combination of three things,
and they're going to tie you down to a bed and make you give birth. I mean,
it's three things. Number one, you have an uninformed electorate, people who don't watch news at all and are just doing their thing and are oblivious to all politics. And then when they do hear something, then they latch onto it because they say that, oh, my dad or my grandfather used to watch BS, NBC, ABC, so that's the news source, so there must be truth. Number two, they are just too wrapped in, and they've been indoctrinated to the hive mind, the liberal hive mind, and TDS, and third, they're just they're just hardcore, belief. Like you have this trans cult that's now killing people, serial killing people around the world, around the United States. That's they're crazy. The national people, you had all the stuff that was going on there. You had the people. Remember, they said that the SUV ran over people, but it was actually somebody who was, again, they're trying to hide this stuff because it's out there. And again, the news media is
They're
dead.
only trying to hide it until it's supposed to happen. Okay.
Right.
Because just like I've been saying for a while, I really did believe that a lot more of this stuff was going to happen before elections so they could shut elections down. But they realized that wasn't going to work. That people weren't going to take that shit. So now it's just going to be 4 more years of Trump syndrome, period. That's all it's going to be. We hate Trump. We hate Trump. There's going to be assassination attempts like crazy. We're going to see all this crazy chaos, planes being taken down, trains, bridges, schools. I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking it's going to be bunches of shit.
Yeah.
And and then the Democrats are going to say, well, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. It's all Trump's fault. Like the egg prices, the gas, everything. It's going to take a while to fix all the damage, if we can at all. I don't think we have 4 years is enough time to repair all the damage that that this last administration just put us through.
Right.
Schools, everything. I mean, we're in debt. We are so far in debt that our great grandkids are already in debt before they're even born. They're not even conceived.
But the thing is that here's the thing: but if everything that Trump wants to do happens right away, and the tariffs are meant to do one thing, they're meant to bring the manufacturing back to the United States. That is the intent. Because again, if you go back to 1982 when Ross Perot ran, I voted for him twice, Ross Perot. And that second sound is what happened. This economy is a residual of that occurring. NAFTA has caused the situation we're in now. Clinton did. And if you basically say, okay, like Tim Cook says, he's going to start making computers and iPhones in America. Good. I'd rather pay more to have American workers doing American jobs. I would love to buy an American car built in America. You have Detroit City and how, again, Detroit City got destroyed. The manufacturing in America, the steel industry got destroyed because we outsourced everything. All of our fruits and vegetables, the vast majority of them are made out of the country. We are such a fertile area. You have to continually to till the land, to have fruits and vegetables. You don't just leave it stale. That's going to kill the land. We have to break our forests. We have to be stewards of the land. We have to do things. Again, this country is so beautiful. We have to utilize it that way. And we have so much liquid gold. When Trump was correct, Alaska, United States, has the biggest shale deposits ever. We can produce this oil and sell it and make more money. And if we start bringing the things back in here, we truly can make America great again. And that money, the deficit, the $37 trillion can be wiped out if we continue to do this. Working with people like Elon Musk, and if we can actually go to an asteroid and capture an asteroid and start mining an asteroid, we could sell that and it's worth trillions and trillions of dollars.
That's what Elon's been talking about. They've found liquid water and other deposits on Mars, just from the samples and underwater video, not underwater, but through the ground penetrating radar and stuff like that. So he's excited about getting to Mars and maybe finding what resources are available on Mars. So but the thing is, we know that lots of comets and things like that and asteroids have frozen ice on them.
Yep.
So there's lots of ways for us to find other resources, if before we need them, because we already know where a lot of this stuff is. It's just getting it, but if we don't, we stop doing anything with rockets. We just don't do anything. We don't, outsourcing everything. And I want our country, I would like to see our country be 100% self-efficient. We should be able to go fishing, grow our meat, grow our chicken, our eggs, get the oil we need, make all of our medicines here. You know, anything we need for mammogram equipment, x-ray machines, everything. All our computer stuff, phones, everything. We should be able to do all of that right here in our own country. And until we do that, we're never going to be self-efficient. We're never going to be able to take care of ourselves when we're 100% relying on China right now for diabetic medicine.
Right.
And there's other medicines too that we can't get it. And lots of chips for our cars. You're having to wait 6 to 8 months to get them. China can just say "fuck you" and just not give them to us if they don't want to, and we're gonna have to do without. I hate to say, people, you might not, if you had to go without power for 6 months, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna take care of yourself? Are you gonna be able to cook your meals? Are you gonna be able to find food? We've got to stop being so chicken shit of living on our own, basically. Yeah. But once we live on our own and we realize that we're capable of doing it, guess what? You do it. You figure it out. Lots of people before 100 years ago didn't have what we have, and they were able to do things.
Right.
So I've been watching these cool videos coming across on TikTok, Instagram, and a few other places showing somebody walking around with a camera, people walking around in a mall, down city streets like in New York and San Francisco and stuff. And guess what? Not one person had a cell phone.
Yeah.
And they were just walking around talking to each other. In restaurants, you were walking around and the people were having conversations at tables. I have gone into restaurants in Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Texas. And you could go in and sit, go to your table and sit and look around, and everybody's on their cell phones. And there's whole families sitting at tables. And you might have a kid playing with a toy, and then you got mom and dad both on their phones. It's like, we're losing what it means to be family and to interact with each other anymore. And that's sad, Yeah. So I don't know. I just think it's terrible. But we do have some good things that are going on. This is another thing I wanted to share real quick. This is a whole thing of Trump's cabinet confirmation status. And I'm going to share this link in the chat. And this is to give you an idea of, he's got 22 announced and 8 of them have been confirmed. And let's see, I printed out a couple of things. I was going to read them off because what was funny is I didn't realize this, but I was looking for Kash Patel. I'm like, how come he's not on this list? And I realized because he really isn't a cabinet member. You know what I mean? He was working under Pam Bondi.
Yes.
He's the attorney general and then also Homeland Security. So he'll be working with other people more than he's actually going to be going into the office of the president every day. Like Marco Rubio.
Right.
Okay, because he's Secretary of State. So he'll be basically spending almost every single day with Trump. Okay. Depending on the job that they're going to have. So, I just thought that was funny because I was looking for him. I was like, he's not on here. They're trying to stop him, and I was saying every channel that I couldn't find him at all. And then that's when someone brought it to my attention. He wouldn't be on that exact paper because he's not his cabinet. He's an underling under that. It's a big thing to be, a head of the FBI, but it's not a cabinet position. And I was like, oh, okay. So I thought that was interesting. But I'm learning a lot of stuff that I didn't realize I didn't know. I mean, but the thing is, it's like it says that we have Kristi Noem. She got her votes. She's Homeland Security, and she's already out in her tactical gear in New York making spectacle. They're arresting a bunch of people, which is great. And then you got Doug Burgum. He's Interior Secretary. He made it. And then you got the EPA Administrator, Lee Zeldin. And he won. The Treasury Secretary, Scott Bassett. And then Pete Hegseth is a defense secretary. All these people have already made it. And then you also know it's, I already said, Marco Rubio. He's already been picked too. So, and I think Robert Kennedy's going to get there, but it's going to be tight because I think J.D. Vance might have to step up again because there's been quite a few. We got quite a few rhinos still, which I knew we were gonna. And I was really surprised that what's that one guy that everybody calls him Uncle Fester? The senator, the Democrat.
Schiff?
No, he looks like he wears a hoodie and everything. He doesn't even wear a suit.
Oh, Fetterman.
Fetterman. He voted for a couple of these with no problem. So I think it's great. So maybe a few of these people might learn something, have actually learned something through this last administration, and realize that this group of people, they're Democrats, independents, and conservatives all coming together to try to fix this country, fix all the problems that we have had, and hopefully they'll be able to. That was that one to bring up and see what was the next thing. Okay, just give me a second. So hope everybody else is doing good out there for the weekend, getting excited about whatever they got planned. But let's see, I had I think it's this one. Here's something because this is the thing about Doug Burgum getting to be picked as Trump's Interior Secretary, and I was going to play this. See if it's turned out. Whoops.
Under the previous order, the motion to reconsider is considered made and laid upon the table, and the president will be immediately notified of the Senate's action. The clerk will report the motion to invoke cloture.
Cloture motion. We, the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, do hereby move to bring to a closed debate on the nomination of Christopher Wright of Colorado to be Secretary of Energy, signed by 17 senators.
That was the secretary. But I just think it's great to start seeing some of these people come together, and the choices. Were you surprised by some of the choices that Trump made for his cabinet?
Not really. No. I like everybody who's doing it. Again, everybody that we've seen that's on his Doug Burnham wanted to run for president, then was switched over to be on Trump's team. And then he got the job. So yeah, again, he's part of the whole team. Chrissy Noem, I like her. Tulsi Gabbard, is really good. Cash Patel's really good. Bob Bounty's really good. Everybody's really good. The only one, not that I'm. He's the most senior Republican that is not really a rhino, but is somewhat on the fence. Is Rubio.
Yeah. He's not as bad as some of these others, but yeah.
Was there a pick you don't like or no?
Well, no, I was just surprised, like Tulsi Gabbard, and a couple others that are more of, used to be Democrats. But then I started thinking about his choices, and I was like, well, Trump was a Democrat for a long, long time because he grew up, in New York, basically.
Yeah, he wants Trump wants a coalition government. He's got Tulsi. He's got Vivek. I'm sorry, not Vivek. We got what's his name? Kennedy. Mm-hmm. Kennedy and Tulsi as disruptors. And again,
a few others in there.
Yeah, a few others.
But it's the fact that
former Democrats, basically.
Yeah, former Democrats are now independents, or whatever you want to call them, wanting to make America great again. See, that's the whole thing, is that we all, as the numbers show, and the red wave that went through our country proves that a lot of people finally are fed up and said, we're sick of this. Democrats are killing our country. You're gutting us from the inside out. You're bankrupting us. California so many areas have burnt due to bad management through forest management, water management, all that. It's just bad run cities, okay, and towns and states. They're being run into the ground. I mean, half the time when you see these videos and showing these trashy, dumpy streets and people just drugged out, wandering around, and garbage and needles everywhere and poop on the ground, all that. And it's almost every single city. I don't care what state it is. You go to a city like that, and guess what? It's a Democrat running it. Okay. Yep. I hate to say it, but that's your tag. You get to wear that around your neck. That's your albatross, is the fact that you let these people run you into the ground. They say, if we had more money, we could fix it. Well, they don't spend the money on what they're supposed to. They let people come across the border and hand them your tax dollars that should be your bank account and should be taking care of Uncle Sam's fighters that gave up years of their life with the military. They should be the ones getting the money, not this kind of shit. So hopefully more people will wake up in these next 4 years if their life improves, because now they can actually get a job. They can actually buy stuff and not have to wait for it for months because it comes from China. And it's not going to be made like a cheap plastic crap that you get from China. But I wanted to show this. This was Tulsi Gabbard. I aired all this stuff live on Rumble and on X, and some of it on LinkedIn, the best I could. I'm trying to teach myself to do more of this kind of stuff, but it was pretty good. So she did a great job, but I wanted to show you a little bit of some of the stuff that was on here.
A contentious day on Capitol Hill. Two of Donald Trump's top national security picks facing tough questions about their past controversial records.
Senator, I will always obey the law.
Kash Patel, Trump's pick to run the FBI, taking tough questions about his calls for political retribution against Donald Trump's opponents and his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. But he broke with Trump when it came to the issue of pardons for some January 6th defendants.
I'm asking, was he wrong to do it?
I do not agree with the commutation of any sentence of any individual who committed violence against law enforcement.
The tough questions for Patel came mostly from Democrats. But for Tulsi Gabbard, Trump's choice as director of national intelligence, a great deal of scrutiny came from Republicans.
I want to make certain that in no way does Russia get a pass in either your mind or your heart.
Senator, I'm offended by the question because my sole focus, commitment, and responsibility is about our own nation, our own security, and the interests of the American people.
Gabbard pressed about her calls for a pardon for Edward.
Yeah, what were you saying?
Deep state puppet, that guy.
Yeah, but see, that's why I wanted to air some of this. I couldn't put it on YouTube because I knew they would say, "Oh, you copyright, you can't use other people's information." Even though I tried to stop and put talk about different things that they were talking about, but you don't want to interrupt while they're being asked questions and stuff like that. But to me, it's important that everyday people understand how the process of parliamentary procedure, the way they do things, and how they go about step by step with getting these people interviewed and ask questions, and then how they go about the vote, right? Because after they did all these questions, it's 30 hours later before they actually do the vote to see whether or not they have enough votes to be confirmed. And during that time, there's a process where people can submit letters to the whole committee so that they can read and stuff about other things that are coming in about the nominees. So let's say their school teacher or whatever sends something, things that they did bad or good.
Yeah, but
also the letters are submitted to the person who is just questioned so that they could answer a few more questions, to make it whether or not they're going to get their vote or not. So I think
my concern was this news report is so biased. It's saying that the controversial. Why are they controversial? They're only controversial. You're saying that.
Yeah.
They said Kash Patel. They said Kash Patel because again he pardon of the January 6th and then questioning the election. The election again it was fraud, but again and the fact that
Well,
commutation.
what they did over and over again was it was like 4 different Democrats, 1 woman and 3 guys, and they were constantly asking him. And Schiff was one of them.
Right.
He testified under oath about Trump signing over confidential documents. Remember, I was talking about this before,
Right?
And so we want you to tell us what documents he was signing, blah blah blah, or making. He goes, well, I don't have that information. And he goes, what do you mean? Do you testify? And he goes, yeah, but I'm not gonna perjure myself and say something I'm not supposed to, because I was told
Correct.
I'm not supposed to talk about something. But they kept trying to reword it and trying to get him to say something about the stuff in Mar-a-Lago, right? And trying to trick him into saying it. And he did a great job at keeping composed, not getting real upset.
Yeah,
Like,
but what's
"Fuck you motherfuckers," because that's what I wanted to do.
But let me give you a perspective of a non-political person.
Mhm.
When Chaya was watching the stream, I told her what's happening. She was very concerned. Why isn't Cash answering the question? It's easy, just answer it. No, my dear, you don't answer the question, because again, he stated in the very beginning, if you want to see what was going on, you have to read the testimony of the grand jury. You sealed it. You will not make it public.
Yeah.
So they sealed it. And they're asking him to basically say what was in sealed testimony, which is a crime.
Yes, and that's why he didn't answer.
But the way the news media is spinning it and the way that people interpret it is that he's answering the question, which is kind of retarded. So
then they also tried to make it look like Tulsi Gabbard thinks that this Snowden guy is some kind of hero because he spilled the beans and then ran to Russia, and
he's a hero. Snowden should be pardoned 100%.
She said that we need to make sure we have some way for people that see things or think there's something wrong with the government, have somewhere they can go to tell someone in the government what's going on without repercussion.
Correct.
You see what I mean? Stuff like that. So they don't like that shit. Okay. Because when Nancy Pelosi would tell them, you guys better do what I tell you to do and keep this going this way or that way, and you better vote like this, that, and the other, they all do it. They all kiss each other's ass if they think it's going to hurt them. See, that's the thing. People always say, "Oh, Republicans, they never work together." That's why they always lose, because they're wishy-washy and they don't. But see, that the difference is you have one group that is more independent because each of them are independent. Like me,
right.
I'm from my state and I'm thinking, okay, this is what I want from my state and this is what my people want. So I'm going to go there and argue with other Republicans because I'm trying to get something for my state, right?
Yes, exactly.
And the Democrats don't do that. They go there and they're one big giant rubber ball and they bounce around and they don't really do shit for anybody but themselves.
Right.
So they don't give a shit, but they'll take smaller amount of shit because this Nancy needs more shit than everyone else. You see, that they know that it's like a big hen house basically, and there's a pecking order. And if you're not at the top of the thing with the biggest cock, you lose. You got to get down to the bottom and scratch your way up. That's the only way you get there. And they're not liking it. They're not liking that Trump's in there now, and Trump is basically, kicking the can back at them. They're not able to kick it down the road anymore. He's kicking it back at them. He's saying, you're not going to get this money. And if you got a sanctuary city, you're not getting any funds. And then the Democrats are going to say, see, we can't feed grandma, and the animals at the shelter are going to starve, and all the kids at the Head Start have no food. They're going to say it's all Trump's fault because Trump is withholding money, and all they got to do is hand over all the illegals. And guess what? All the people that pay taxes get their stuff. Right. See, but people that are wanting their check aren't listening to anybody but the lady that's handing it to them. See, so they're going to think Trump. Those people are going to think Trump is just a big scumbag, and he's trying to stop everybody from having their Social Security or whatever else because that's all they know. They don't know any different. And the sad truth is, if they were able to listen to, other groups besides just, CNN or whatever, then they would, I think they would be different. But I just wanted to share that whole thing about some of the testimony that she did. Cause man, Cash and her did a good job considering they were like, it was horrible. It was like they were at a firing squad.
Right.
And all they had to do was duck, and run, and duck and then sit down and stand up. It was just horrible. I don't know how they did it. I would have had a heart attack. Oh, grumpy old ninja. Hello. Thank you for joining us tonight. Nerdy Org. Hi. Wow, there's quite a few people in here. Hi, Kyle. Thank you for stopping in. Trying to see everyone from the different places because sometimes it comes over here and sometimes it doesn't. But I can't go over there and type in over there at the other places because it doesn't work that well. Okay, well, one of the next things I wanted to talk about. Let's see if I can get that one. Is it this one? Was the whole thing about this one, starting with the helicopter, the crash.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's seen the crash, so I wasn't going to do the same thing, but this is what Trump said when he first came out and he was talking about what happened. So I wanted to share this. Here we go.
Which is overseen by Secretary Pete Buttigieg. The real winner has a real winner. Do you know how badly everything's run since he's run this Department of Transportation? A disaster. He was a disaster as a mayor. He ran his city into the ground, and he's a disaster now. He's just got a good line of bullshit. The Department of Transportation is government agency charged with regulating civil aviation. Well, he runs it, 45,000 people, and he's run it right into the ground with his diversity. So this is
okay. So that was one of the statements that Trump made.
Right.
Okay, after the crash.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he got criticized for it. It's just so dumb.
Yeah, but he said a couple different things. He was talking about the fact that he's out in public trying to let the people know through transparency of what he knows and to give out as much information as he can about the facts that are coming in as they come in. But I found this video I thought was pretty interesting. It was a breakdown. Now, I don't have the second video because I couldn't find one before I was supposed to come on here, but I'll try to share it on my timeline and stuff on my different things I'm on, like Rumble, and I don't know if I'll be able to put it on YouTube, but I'll put it on X so everybody can see it. But this is I said, you decide, because I want people to watch it and decide whether they thought it was on purpose or not. But before I did that, hold on, let me see. Yeah, before I did that, I wanted to read something first. It says we know the Black Hawk, helicopter had a bizarre flight path, because they were showing it in a zigzag pattern, almost nearly colliding with two other jets before the deadly crash. Air traffic control confirmed that Ellis had visual confirmation of the passenger jet and took responsibility for safe navigation. The weather was clear. Visibility was perfect. As you could see in the videos, from different angles of the two things crashing into each other, right? So if we could see it from that far away, how could they with the instruments and stuff on their plane and on the helicopter that they didn't see each other? But the fact that the helicopter almost crashed into two other planes before this one leads me to think that either the pilot and the co-pilot of the helicopter were arguing and fighting over the stick, or trying to fight over where they were going or something. That's why I can't wait to hear from the black box, which I know they finally recovered because someone told me that yesterday. So I wanted to share this.
Black box? Wow, you're racist. Just kidding.
I think it's black. I mean, isn't that what
I know. But it's a Black Hawk.
I think
what? Black Hawk? It's a Black Hawk?
Both of them. I think they found them from both wreckages.
I know.
But I want to share this video, which is pretty interesting, and it's how the plane crashed into the helicopter, how it happened.
Right.
And I wanted people. I've been watching it, but there's another one, and I'll let parts 2 come out as soon as I get it. But someone took this from TikTok, and then they uploaded.
This is actually a YouTube video.
No, this is different. This is from TikTok. The other YouTube video is a map, and it's the helicopter people talking to the airport people and stuff like that. It's not the same as this. This is from TikTok, but I'm going to share it with you because it's a TikTok video, not YouTube. Here we go. Listen.
How did an American Airlines plane and a Black Hawk helicopter end up in a tragic crash while the plane was attempting to land on runway 33? In the videos ahead, we'll take a closer look at the final hours leading up to the crash, the confusion between the PAT-25 VIP military helicopter and the air traffic controller, and how the rescue operation is being carried out. More details all in the video ahead. The plane had departed from Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport in Kansas earlier that evening. A PSA Airlines aircraft, operated under American Airlines and identified as Flight AA5342, collided midair with a military Black Hawk helicopter at approximately 9 p.m. on Wednesday, January 29, 2025. The tragic incident occurred as the plane was making its final approach toward Reagan Washington National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. American Airlines confirmed that 64 people were aboard the jet, 60 passengers and 4 crew members, while 3 soldiers were aboard the military helicopter. This plane's radio transponder stopped transmitting about 2,400 feet, which is around 730 meters short of the runway, roughly over the middle of the river. This has marked the first major U.S. commercial crash in more than 15 years. From an aerial perspective, it is evident that Flight AA5342 was approaching the airport from the south, descending over the scenic Potomac River. This area is known for its proximity to several iconic landmarks, such as the Pentagon, located nearby in Pentagon City. To the north, one can spot the striking dome of the United States Capitol building, a symbol of American democracy. The Potomac River, which encircles the airport and much of Arlington, serves as a natural boundary and offers breathtaking views for arriving flights. However, this area is also densely trafficked, both by air and on the ground, adding to the complexity of air traffic management in the region. American Airlines Flight 5342, which we'll refer to as the landing flight, was on its final approach to runway 33. At this stage, called short final, the aircraft was mere moments from landing, flying at an altitude of about 400 feet. This is the most critical phase of landing, where every second counts and pilots are laser focused on safely bringing the plane down. At the same time, an Army Black Hawk helicopter, identified as PAT-25, was reportedly on a possible training flight. It was flying perpendicular to the flight path of Flight 5342, following the course of the Potomac River. The Potomac River is a designated flight corridor for helicopters, and it's common to see aircraft like this operating in the area. The key difference between the 2 aircraft in this scenario was their operating rules. The Black Hawk helicopter, PAT-25, was flying under visual flight rules. This means it was required to rely on visual observation of its surroundings to avoid other aircraft. The landing Flight 5342 was operating.
Okay. That's all the video that I have right now because I couldn't find the other one.
I have the full video.
Oh, you do?
I saw this video already.
Oh, I hadn't seen it. This is all I had. It came from TikTok. So
no, it's a YouTube video.
Well, that's a TikTok video, and that's where I got it from.
I know. But
I looked on YouTube and I couldn't find anything like that. But I like the way that they use the overhead video, so you can see where they're going and how they move.
Yeah, click the link I sent you. So that's the whole video.
Oh, you sent me another one? Okay,
I sent you the video.
Okay, good. Let me and then I'll fast forward. I guess I can do that. Let me open that real quick because I looked everywhere trying to find the other one because I did find one.
If you did look everywhere, you'd found it. Just kidding. All right. That's what I always say to people. I looked everywhere. If you looked everywhere, you'd find it by now.
Well, no, I mean I looked everywhere on TikTok.
I know. I'm playing.
I didn't see it on YouTube. That's not where I saw it at. So let me fast forward this a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm just saying it's a high probable. The people when people say they looked everywhere and they didn't really look everywhere, or It's like,
I'm gonna
what's the other?
pause, and then I'm
What did
gonna
he say?
open this up. So hold on, let me get this one. Thank you, Ruben. I
No,
appreciate
that's fine.
you.
That's fine.
Give me
That's
that
fine. I
one.
was trying to figure out what's the other thing they say that all the time. Like, I'm not gonna. I like when I'm trying to find. I looked all over, and then I finally found it. Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, and then I stopped looking.
You
Of
always
course you
find
stop
it
looking.
because it's the last place you look, right?
Yeah. It's like,
It's common to see aircraft like this operating in the area. The key difference between the two aircraft in this scenario was their operating rules. The Black Hawk helicopter, PAC-25, was flying under visual flight rules. This means it was required to rely on visual observation of its surroundings to avoid other aircraft. The landing flight 5342 was operating under instrument flight rules, which give it priority over VFR flights in controlled airspace. This system assumes that VFR aircraft will actively maintain visual separation to avoid conflicts. Moments before the collision, the air traffic control tower at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport called PAC-25 to confirm whether they had the other aircraft in sight. PAC-25 responded that they did. At first glance, this seems like an acknowledgement that they were aware of Flight 5342's presence and were taking steps to avoid it. However, it now seems likely that PAC-25 had mistakenly identified a different aircraft, possibly a departing flight from the same airport, and believed that was the other aircraft referred to by the tower. Tragically, PAC-25 may not have realized that Flight 5342 was descending directly into its path. This misidentification could have led to the Black Hawk failing to adjust its course in time to avoid a collision. Although I'm not a pilot, this is what appears to have happened based on the available information. It's a heartbreaking incident that raises questions about how such misunderstandings can occur and what safety measures can prevent them in the future. If you have more insight or expertise, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. The passenger plane broke into multiple pieces and sank several feet into the river. Meanwhile, the helicopter ended up landing upside down on the water. Regarding the rescue mission, the main challenge is access. The water they're working in is about 8 feet deep, which is roughly 2.5 meters. On top of that, the conditions are tough. There's strong wind, chunks of ice floating around, which obstructs rescue workers. We also have audio from air traffic control that has been published online, capturing the moments as the two aircraft approach each other. In the recording, we can hear a conversation. It appears to involve the air traffic controller, with P standing for priority air transport, the helicopter, and CRJ referring to the passenger plane. The response seems to come from the helicopter, but something goes terribly wrong. The two aircraft continue to move closer to each other until they crash, and there was no response from the other side. This long-shot video, recorded by the Kennedy Center cam, seems to show two aircraft, a helicopter and a commercial airliner colliding, creating a huge flash. If you take a close-up shot, you can clearly see the Black Hawk helicopter traveling at an alarmingly high speed directly towards the plane, a moment of impending danger captured in stark detail. According to reports, the situation unfolded due to apparent confusion on the part of the Black Hawk pilot. He was seemingly unaware of the presence of a second aircraft in the vicinity, which ultimately led to a critical misjudgment. When the flight controller radioed in, asking if the pilot had identified Flight 5342, the pilot confidently confirmed that he had visual contact. However, the plane he was referring to wasn't Flight 5342. It was a completely different aircraft flying above his position. This misidentification proved costly. The pilot, certain he was operating safely, continued his course. Tragically, he ended up flying directly into the path of an oncoming aircraft. The sequence of events highlights the immense complexity and risks of aviation, where even small communication errors or lapses in situational awareness can lead to dangerous, life-threatening outcomes. Let's take a look at a different case scenario of a GG.
So I want to pause that for a second. See that all of this right here has me thinking that they're going to use this to start implementing AI to control instead of having actual people.
Well, that's possible. The thing is that right now our aviation system, the FFA, is very, very antiquated, and you only see flight data in 2 dimensions with designations of only, you know, the height, but it's done in in words or letters or numbers, 325 feet, all that stuff. You can't superimpose it and make it three-dimensional. And that's the thing that it should be done. And the thing is that's what Trump, who in his first administration, was wanting to update the system.
Yeah,
and I
because we
think
talked about that a little bit in one of the press conferences.
right. I think that this will make it forward. And again, it's a step forward, because we have to. It's a secondary topic, a segue topic, but artificial intelligence can be utilized in this manner to make it better. And that's something that we should be doing. Because again, like it or not, if again, let's just for sake of everybody's argument here, what I do for a living, or what I did for a living, and I'm going to be doing it again soon, is to business technology consulting. I work with corporations to make their systems work better. I have worked for United Healthcare. I've worked for where else? Northern Trust Bank. I've worked for Ford. I've worked for Boeing. I have worked for different. I've actually worked for Pfizer, doing technology upgrades for them.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and I'm doing some work for Fujitsu Corporation for AI stuff, and I've been doing this for over 25, nearly 30 years now. Since actually it is going to be 30 years. Yeah, well, I started in 95 with doing this work, and then 98 I went private to do as a contractor. But again, this type of implementation of artificial intelligence to help this, it can help avoid these things. Again, when it comes to AI, I akin it to the atomic bomb or nuclear medicine. You can do good, or you can do evil with it. And again, just as a side note, I think AI in this implementation should be a very useful tool to help alleviate air traffic.
Yeah, because I talked to like 3 or 4 people that used to work in airports, doing that job, and they said they only could make it for 6 years because it was just too nerve-wracking. They were worried they're going to have a nervous breakdown. There was just too many hours and not enough time to chill out, in between going back to work. And that's why a lot of them showed up to work drunk or became alcoholics or drug addicts.
Yeah, and then
a lot of pilots were drunk when they
I'll answer Joe's question with a question myself, theoretically, because he asks, I don't understand why military aircraft are training around civilian aircraft. So essentially, the mission that they were doing when they were flying was continuing the chain of government. So they do military drills, and this military drill that was done around the Capitol for continuing the government. So that's why they need to do this at night, because in a scenario where they need to fly to do things, they need to have they did this exercise. Now, this proves to me, well, the irony is, well, the shit they need to do better way of protecting our government officials. And this failure is a failure on many levels. The failure of just the fact that they were flying erratically, but that was probably part of the whole thing that they were trying to do. But again, if we have to think non-conspiratorial, it's a tragedy. It shouldn't have happened. I think the military has to get their act together, and Pete Hegseth is going to start to doing some implementing and trying to get these things done, and basically adhere to the idea. It's the whole it harkens back to Top Gun, the hard deck under 10,000 feet. The hard deck here was do not go above 300 feet. No, sorry, do not go above 200 feet. They were over 300 feet. So they were out of their space they should have been at. And even for
another
this
thing is, what I'm having a hard time with is there was 3 people on the helicopter. Okay. And and apparently whoever was in the helicopter wasn't smart enough to understand what they were supposed to be doing. They weren't.
Well, you know what
they weren't-
you know what they said. I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's true or not, but I tend to believe it's true that the pilot of the helicopter was a trans person.
Well, yeah, I've heard that rumor too, but until I remember I showed some stuff earlier I was talking about, and I posted stuff, different things that they're saying, but they said that let me see if I have it. Hold on, let me look real quick. I have a actual video of, here it is, number, let's see,
So the
20.
irony here is that when you said maybe the helicopter pilot got confused.
Well,
they were already confused.
Well, what I was thinking is, what I'm thinking from so far, from the information that's come in, I don't really know who the pilot is, but I knew it was either a woman or a transgender or something like that, because when the news first came out, they said there were 3 people in the helicopter, and then they said the one guy's name and what his rank was, and then they said the other guy's name and his rank, and then they said a woman. That's it. So was a woman not in the military? Was a woman not supposed to be on the helicopter? You know, there's something fishy about that. Okay.
That's true.
So that right off the bat, I was like, something's not right. That person wasn't supposed to be in the helicopter, or they're a person that they're trying to say, oh God, here we go. We got a trans that's in here and we're going to get more DEI bullshit or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why or what happened. It just made my hair on the back of my neck stand up, because something wasn't right. I picked up on it right away. Whenever they say, oh, there was a shooter or whatever, and they never tell you what race they were, okay, you know what race they are. If they don't say anything, they should say it was a 20-year-old male, Caucasian or whatever. They should just tell it and just get it out of the way and be transparent. If they do that, more people will get used to hearing the truth and deal with it. We will deal with it. Stop trying to coddle people or say, oh, we're going to help so that somebody doesn't go out and start killing someone because, oh, they're the wrong race, or they have a vagina, or, you know, it's just stupid. It's just stupid. We're all grown-ups. If we're old enough to go out and get a job and pay taxes, I think we're old enough to hear the facts from our government. You know what
you
I'm
always
saying?
say that.
I know.
It's your number 2 thing. Number 1 is work the polls,
Mhm.
and
I don't have to do that now.
and then of
For 2
course,
years.
well, and then you go pay taxes, which never mind.
Yeah. But the
Something
thing is that,
what is
you know,
it?
if
When's the last time I did
you're
that?
invested into your
23
city,
years ago?
you're invested
I don't
for
pay
your
taxes.
job,
Taxes for weeks.
you should get something, be treated as an adult. You know, if they expect you to act like an adult, why can't they treat us like adults? See, I can't stand the fact that they feel like they're smarter than us, they know better than us, and they know whether or not we can handle something or not, which is bullshit. Okay. All those families, and I can understand why they might take a while, because the families haven't been told yet. There was 60 people on that plane, and the 4 people working the plane. Okay. So they got to notify all those people and stuff like that. So I can understand why, but they don't have to say their names. They just say it was a man or woman, what race they were, if they want, or how tall they were. I don't give a shit. Just be honest and tell the truth. Don't give facts about one and not the other. See, I don't like that. It just makes you go, what? Why not? Then you start being conspiracy theory shit, right? But I want to show this video because after everybody was saying that, someone posted this, and that's when I said, okay, well, that's not, it's definitely not that person. Okay, here it is, right here. All right, this person right here. This is the person they're saying was the transgender that was a pilot. Mm-hmm. And this was their post on their Facebook account. So I wanted to play it because this is who they were coming out with pictures. And I'll show you the pictures, these other pictures. Because this person also did a podcast the day before talking about how horrible it was to be in the military and how we're going to being a transgender and how hard it was on that person. And now Trump's making them all get out and they're going to lose their careers and all this different stuff. So that's why this person was picked out to be the pilot. And this person, I don't even think is even in Washington, D.C. I'm not sure, but here we go.
Interesting morning.
Oh, God.
Joe Ellis. I am a Black Hawk pilot with the Virginia Army National Guard. I understand some people have associated me with the crash in DC, and that is false. It is insulting to the families to try to tie this to some sort of political agenda. They don't deserve that. I don't deserve this. And I hope that you all know that I'm alive and well. And this will be sufficient for you all to end all the rumors. I also have a statement. The Department of Defense is responsible for casualty notifications. There were no Virginia National Guard personnel on that Black Hawk that collided with the jetliner Wednesday evening. Thank you. Interesting morning.
So they're from Virginia. So they were saying that nobody from the Virginia National Guard was in that crash. Okay. So that person was not the person that was, this person was not the person that was flying the helicopter. And the reason I first saw it was because somebody else had shared a video or something saying that this was the person. So let me find out. Hold on, give me 1 second. I gotta find out who it is. That was it. That's not it. Just give me 1 second. Here it is. Okay, 21. Let me share this with you. Okay, this is what came across my timeline. And see this picture right here? That's the person you just saw in that video. And this, it's not a video. This is just sound. And this guy is interviewing this person, and they're talking about how horrible it was to be a transgender in the military and how much work they had to go through and stuff. But so this is they're saying in this post, it says, just one day before piloting the Black Hawk that collided. See, this person added that, and that isn't factual. They posted this because this person made this interview, and they assumed that because it looked like it went straight into the other thing, that they were the one piloting it because they wanted to kill people because they're mad, whatever. So they didn't. It's because it's not this person. So I don't know who was on there, but to me, it does seem that the two people in the front of the helicopter were arguing or fighting over the controls, and that's why it almost hit two other planes before it hit this one. So when that comes out, well, no, because it says, we know the Black Hawk, the bizarre flight path nearly colliding with two other jets before the deadly crash. So when this all comes out, and I believe it will, the reason I believe it will is because we have a totally different group of people in charge, and our president of the United States has already been out talking about this accident and being public and telling people this is what's going to happen, and we're going to, what we found out, blah, blah, blah. So I do believe that whatever comes out, we will find out, because it's not going to be put under the rug and hidden away in a corner or whatever. So I just wanted everybody to know that I really do believe that we will find out the facts, simply because we have a whole new administration, and he's already proven that he made promises and he's trying to keep them. He's trying to do it. So as long as he keeps trying, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's only been in office 10 days. So we gotta give him a break, because it's going to be in there for 4 years. But I don't think it'll take him 4 years to.
Yeah, Benny Johnson just posted something. Let me paste it here so you can look at it. All the things that Trump has done to drain the swamp so far. In the last 24 hours, what he's done.
Yeah, it's amazing. But this is something I wanted. This is what's funny. I left Facebook, and I've told the story many times why I left in 2020, because I was treated like dirt, basically, because I was conservative. And I saw something that came across my timeline, and it was an Antifa man dressed like it was a cartoon drawing, but it was an Antifa standing over a police officer. And the police officer was on their knees, and the Antifa was cutting the throat of the police officer, and blood was shooting out. So I reported it to Facebook. And then they wrote back and said, we didn't find anything offensive with this picture. it's artistic expression or something like that. And I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I was pissed. So I had a friend help me swap the heads basically and make a new picture, and it looked like the police officer was cutting the Antifa's head off, right, or throat. And then I had them side by side on my timeline, and I got told, I mean, within 30 minutes, wasn't even 30 minutes, that I had to take it down, that they take down my post, or I was going to be banned from Facebook.
Right.
And like, you told me in my last message you sent me, you said that it was artistic expression. Well, this isn't, or whatever. So I said, fuck you guys. So I just started deleting everything. I deleted all my shit. I changed my name to Lynn, and I put Clinton's in the blue dress as my photo, on there. I was really mad, and I left. I finally got rid of every single thing I could think of, and then I deleted my account. And I still get emails saying someone's trying to log into your Facebook account after all these years.
Yeah.
Never going to go back to Facebook, okay? Because I think they're a piece of shit, and karma sucks. So
I went off Facebook to myself too, and then I only came back basically, just I don't really go on there. I post a little bit. I've been reaching out to a lot of people that are part of the fellowship, and but again, it's not the same. It's not the same. And again, it's like
I'm never going to go back.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't trust them. But this is what I wanted to share. It's starting to come back and slap them upside the head, I guess. It says Meta says it will fire leakers after Zuckerberg's private comments go public. Somebody was pissed off. Remember, they were throwing a fit because he started firing. He's starting to get rid of all the fact checkers.
Right.
Because he said that he was going to stop doing that because he was forced to by the last administration, to quell the whole laptop bullshit and
he
stuff.
He wasn't forced to do shit.
All that shit. So now he's starting to find out. And plus, it's funny how when he's a Democrat and he's sucking their ass and bending over and taking it up the ass, he cuts his hair like Lizard Man. But now that he's supposedly a conservative and he's going to be for America, he's letting his hair grow out. What? It's just freaking weird. I mean, this guy is
again disingenuous, 100%.
Yeah, I don't trust him at all. But the whole thing is to find out that he's starting to get a little bit of what he gave others is great. And when I saw him show up for the inauguration, I'm like, what the fuck is that asshole doing there? Oh, I was so pissed. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I do not like this guy. This guy is a total piece of scum. I mean, he is. If he came up, if someone offered me $1 million so I could go up and meet him in person and shake his hand and shit, I'd say, fuck you. I would not take $1 million to meet this person. He is beneath us. This person does not deserve to breathe the same air that we breathe. And because we work hard, we're hardworking people. We give a fuck about other people. I'm sorry, I can't stand this man. He makes me want to throw up. And this kind of person is what's ruining our country. A person that thinks they're better than everyone else. They can lie and cheat and steal everyone around them, yet they're untouchable, which is fucked up. And I don't want to see that. That's why I'm buying popcorn and I'm enjoying seeing what Trump is doing. And Trump is fucking rich too. Okay. But he does not treat people like this. I've watched Trump for years because remember, I wasn't for Trump. I was for Ben Carson. Okay. And it took me a while to, cozy up to liking Trump more and listening to him, paying attention to what kind of person he was. But over the years, I've been watching him, how he handles people, how he talks to people, listening to interviews of other people that had interviews with Trump. And I'm telling you, compared to all these other MFers, he's a halfway decent man. And I would be honored to meet President Trump. And because just for the fact of who he is and how he's proved to me who he is, this guy is, I wouldn't give him the time of day. I really wouldn't. I cannot stand him. I do not trust him. He's a loser. And then I saw this, and it kind of pissed me off because that means it's going to be closer to where I live. Oh, it's not fair.
Now what?
that people can get away with this shit. Now, Meta in talks to reincorporate in Texas or another state and exit Delaware.
Right.
See, this is another thing that pisses me off. They leave California or Oregon or Washington State or somewhere up in New England, okay, Maine or any of these places they've ruined by raising taxes, giving people shit they don't deserve. They want you to have the border wide open, but if you take a busload of people to their state and dump them in their town, oh my God, it's the end of the world. You know, oh, it just drives me crazy. Okay, then what happens when their taxes are so high and they don't like the crime and they don't like all that? What do? They move to a conservative state and they move to the city or on the outskirts and buy a bunch of land and have a fancy house because it's 10 times cheaper to live there and stuff. Oh, this is great. But guess what? They go to the polls and they vote for the same fucked up shit that ruined their state.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't like these people. That's why I don't like these people. Believe me, my mom's family is from Texas and Oklahoma. My grandmother, my great grandmother grew up on Indian reservation from Choctaw Indian. Okay.
Right.
And on my mother's side. And on my dad's side, they're from Nova Scotia and all New England, Maine, all in there. They're all liberals. Okay. So I had some Democrats in my mom's family, but most of them were conservative. They were Christians. They were conservative. They believed in helping their neighbors, you know, all this stuff. And then I'm up there with all these rich people that raise Dalmatians and they have fancy, huge houses and all that stuff. And they just look down their nose at people. And I don't like that. I just don't like that. I think that people should look each other in the eye, give each other the respect. And as long as you treat me with respect, I'm going to treat you with respect because you haven't given me any reason not to, you know, and I'll trust you. And sometimes it's to my own detriment because I'll give people the benefit of the doubt. I try to. And sometimes it comes and slaps me upside the head. But but to me, I can't help it. That's what my mother would want me to be like. And that's what I'm going to do until I die. That's who I am. And I wish more people would, be able to do that. But when you're born and raised up that way with, a silver spoon shoved up your ass, I guess it's kind of hard to, go back to, eating off a plastic spoon. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand it. It's just sad to me that's how many people are like that. And people actually think of other people that way. They're too stupid to take care of themselves. And how will you know? Unless you give them what they ask for. Let's say they get a job and they want their own place and they want a car and all that, give it to them. If your kid's ready to move out and they want a car or whatever, say, fine, you get a job and you pay for your own gas and your own insurance and everything. Here you go.
Right.
Enjoy. And then they grow up. And they get their, I love it. I say this many times, they get their first check and they open their check and they're like, I got my check. And then they go, what's FICA? They have no idea. And then they start saying, well, why are they getting my money? They didn't work. And I'm like, that's right. Now
you voted for dumbass.
Now you're going to vote and make sure that the person you vote for is the one working for you. So they're earning money from you and protecting you. That's what they're supposed to do. But for some reason, we've gotten to where we just let them we just take half our check, rip it in half and hand it to them and say, oh, well, and don't expect anything. And that's bullshit.
And that's why I work for myself.
Well, that's good. But the sad fact is that we have a lot of people in our country, half of our country, as we just saw, what was it, 77 million votes for Trump? Is that what he got?
Yeah.
Okay. And they still swear, and it's going to go in the history books for all of our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandkids, and they're reading the history book that Biden got 81 million votes. Well, 81 million people.
No one is no set of minds that'll know that. He'll know the truth
as president. So just think about that. Oh, it's just really sad. That's why I hope they get this all straightened out, and fix some of this stuff because it's going to be up to us to share the truth. And the thing is, by making changes in your states, to fix the
Wiki Woo is the best line. That is true.
Half our country is gay. Well, some are gay like this, da, 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 happy gay, right?
And then I approve that message, Wiki Woo. My favorite,
Yeah,
one of my favorite words, besides the N word, which I say all the time. I'm proud.
Mm-hmm.
What?
You're proud?
Yeah, I say it all the time. I say all the words all the time.
Yeah, thank you. But the thing is that the other thing that I wanted to show, I can't find it. I don't have no idea what happened to it. And I don't know what tab it was to look up under the history, because I looked at history and I can't find anything.
Is it more than half Wiki Boo? Are you Canadian?
No, he's over in Europe.
Oh, okay.
So how many hours ahead are you than us? Is it 6 hours, 8 hours?
6 or 7 hours. 6 or 7, I'm guessing.
It's quite a ways. So hold on, I'm trying to see if I can find this because it was so funny. But
Scottish. Oh, yeah.
Well, what it was that guy, and he was crying, saying that they're gonna come get his mom or his mother-in-law.
Oh my, 438. Geez.
He's gonna come get his mother-in-law because she was an illegal alien, and he's giving out the address, and he says she doesn't have any dogs, and her house is right behind that green apartment.
That's funny.
It was
like
funny as heck.
If you were doing that all the time, I don't care. Yeah, then you had that. That was funny. Don't you support my mother? She's lived on the and then you got Selena Gomez and her weird bullshit. It was so weird. Like it's not playing. We're make fun of you. I never heard I don't less like your music, and I hate your music even more now. So
I don't think I've ever heard any of her music.
I can't name you one song, and I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of her stuff. But thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. Yeah, Ruben's really tired, and Bruce was not feeling very well. I hope one of his mentors, and not mentors, but someone he was really depressed because of the voice for did I say He-Man?
Yeah, He-Man
had passed away, and he took it really hard. I guess the cartoon or whatever, the TV show. And he's really upset about that. And I feel bad for him because I know how much he, enjoyed a lot of those things, and it's tough. And in the last week, I've lost 2 people in my family, or not in my family, but friends.
John Irwin was his name.
Yeah, John Irwin. Yeah, that sounds familiar. But I feel really bad for him.
88 years old, 88.
But I've lost 2 friends, and they were in their 50s.
Oh, great.
And I don't know what the second one died from yet. I haven't found out because he just died 2 days ago. But the other one died of a massive heart attack. And it's just really hard. It just seems like I've lost so many friends in this last year. And it seems like now the last 6 months, it's like they're getting more, every month, more and more people are passing away, and they're not all dying from old age. A lot of people would say, "What'd they die from?" Well, they were 90, and they go, "Oh," and they just assume that they died from old age. Well, yeah, 90 is pretty old. But my grandmother on my dad's side was 101 when she died, and she lived in Maine, and she was sweeping her kitchen the morning that she died. And that's what I want. That's all I want. I just want to be healthy enough to take care of myself, be in my own home, be able to take care of myself and sweep and cook and do everything all up until I just don't wake up. You know what I mean? That's what I want. And that's why I try to take care of myself, because that's how I want to live my life. And I'd like to have somebody, to be healthy and be with me too at the same time. That would be great, because nobody wants to die first or die after the other one. It's sad. Right. But every time I try to talk to my family about being prepared and getting things ready, having a will, I'm like, do you want this? Do you want that? I'm putting all this stuff. And they're like, no, I don't want to talk about that, So I've got stuff picked out that I got hanging on the wall. Saying I got it in my phone. That one so-and-so picture goes to my best friend, Georgianne, or this goes to that, if they're still alive, that's what I want, how I want things spread out. And whoever's left, I would like for it to be paid for so they don't have to do anything. Because when you lose someone, it's hard. Because I remember when my grandpa died and my mother's dad, and my mom was just a basket case, and her sister was worse than her. And if I don't know what she would have done if I hadn't went there, because I went back and forth and got clothes and I to try to help to get the service and pictures and do different things to set things up for the service. And I was lucky that I was close to my grandpa, but I wasn't as close as it wasn't like my dad or my mom type of thing. And I was just trying to be strong because I wanted my mom to be able to deal with it. And her brother died when he was in his 20s. He was a lineman in Denton, Texas, and he was up working on the pole, and someone turned the power on.
Oh no!
And he had a brand new baby at home with his new wife, and that's how he died. And that she got a lot of money from the city. So, and then after that, my mom never saw her nephew or anything again, and her parents never saw the baby after that. So
what happened? Where'd they go? Where'd she go?
She took the money and left.
Damn.
So it was sad because there's no such thing as grandparents' rights and stuff in a lot of states, but it was sad. But you have to just get up and keep going. That's what we have to do.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. I basically, when my wife passed away, I deleted all her pictures. I sold everything. I don't have anything of her anymore. I don't want to see her face ever again. I can't. It's not supposed to. The only place you can find her is on Facebook. Her Facebook is memorialized, but I just don't. I got rid of everything. I don't want to see anything.
Well, each of us have to deal with things in different ways. Not everybody, like me. I went to that one service for my friend, and everybody's getting up and going in front of the casket, and I'm like, I'm not going up there. I don't want to remember her that way. I don't want to remember someone laying in a casket. I just don't. I'd rather just remember seeing her stand up on the altar up there at church and singing.
Right.
That's it. I don't want to see that. So I just went the other way. I was one of the only people. There was like almost 100 people there, I guess, and I was one of the only people that just went out the back of the church instead of going up to the front.
Yeah, when both my parents passed away, or when I basically saw the body or whatever, or the body, that's the whole thing. It's the body. It's not her anymore. It's just to me, it's more like a shriveled up shell. It's a shell. It's not the essence of it. And you basically reach out and touch, and it just doesn't feel human. It feels like it's not human at all. So it's nothing anymore. It's a mannequin, yeah. So it's not real. So
well, see, that's what I always tell people. All we take with us is our experiences, our memories, what we've made in here. Because what this is just a shell that carries my soul around in it, right? I believe that. And when I die, I don't need this shell because it's not perfect.
Right.
So that's how I look at it. But I just want to say thank you to everyone again for joining us tonight and hanging out for a little bit and getting to talk about, what Trump has done in such a short amount of time. And it's, a terrible tragedy about this crash. But one thing that's really shocking to me is how I know so many people on X, and there's so many of them, are all conspiracy theorists. Every single day, no matter what it is, and no matter what happens, that Trump was president the whole time. Just Nasera, and that we're not going to have any money. No one's going to have any bills. They're gonna write off everybody's debt. And I'm like, you can't do that because someone's got to get the money in the bank for the work they already did. And if nobody owes anything, then how is that person going to pay their electric bill? That kind of stuff. It just won't work. But I don't know. I just wish that people would try to just use common sense, and think about stuff first before because like you said, like I was showing you right off the bat, people were saying, oh, but she did this podcast. She had to have been a helicopter pilot because she's a helicopter pilot because she talked about it in the podcast. Right. Or he did, or she, whatever. a transgender, and they automatically just put that video up and put that headline on there, and people were thinking, oh, that must be true. And I shared it, but I didn't say this was the person. I just said, I said most of the time I just say, pick for yourself, listen to it and then make your own decision, that type of thing is what more people need to do. And usually if you step back and wait 48 hours, there's a lot more information out by then to help you make a better decision instead of just jumping right in with everybody else, because everybody thinks that, it's the aliens or whatever it is. Who knows, until we find out. And if you give yourself a little bit of time, things will sink in and you'll start saying, that makes sense. But I still believe that something was going on in the helicopter, because either the steering was messed up and it had two people trying to control it, to keep it from crashing. But they didn't say anything on the radio. They did talk on the radio. So that's another interesting thing, is what was the zigzag pattern for? And why did they almost hit two other jets? Because the other jets, the other two planes said that this helicopter almost hit us. So I don't know. I'm just interested in finding out a little bit more information about that. And once we get that, it's going to be interesting to find out, because I do believe it was a tragic accident now, but why? What caused the accident? Why did the helicopter act so erratically? Because it wasn't the plane. From what I
could tell, the latest video that I saw there was very, very clear that the plane was coming in and this helicopter just flew up to it. I went, what the hell?
Yeah, it looks from two different angles. I saw it from one side and then the other. That's why I like that video that you had. It's because it was an overhead shot, kind of gives you an idea. It's wide open. But I'd like to see one with all the planes that were there, all at the same time. I'd like to see this plane, that plane, all of them all moving in tandem, like, all at the exact same time, so that you can kind of get an idea of what their heights were.
Yeah, because it's so weird is that, you see the plane, but my God, the other plane, but again, the plane that took off, or the plane that was, the plane that was coming in for a landing, had its landing lights on.
Yeah, it's light up way more than the one that's just flying.
Yeah, exactly. So then how can you say, how can you confuse, it's that plane over there, not the big blurring light in front of me, but the plane over there?
It looked to me like they ran right into it. Like they didn't go up or down or anything.
You had Russian nationals on the plane. You had skaters on there. So
and then some hunters.
Yes.
A hunting team was on there.
Yeah.
Because I saw some pictures of the different people who did die. So it's.
But the most important thing was it was it's a heartbreaking tragedy. To tell you the truth,
it is. It's really sad, and I hate that some bad stuff like this has happened this early in Trump's administration. So
exactly.
He hasn't even got his cabinet picked yet. But I want to say thank you to everybody, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget, tomorrow I'll be playing Pathfinder with Bruce and some other friends. And then Sunday, I don't remember the name of the movie now. Shit. I think it's called, I don't remember. He picked some B-rate movie that we're going to watch that I've never seen. And we're going to watch it in Discord, and then we're going to do the show. Because last week we did Addams Family. So if you hadn't seen me dressed up as Morticia, you need to go to my channel and watch my Last Girl Got in a Movie. So
nice.
You guys have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Thank you, Ruben.
First off, let me convey to my family, friends, and supporters, that now is not the time to gloat. We must remember that most of our left-leaning friends are good people who want the same things in life as we do, but simply think differently on how to get there. It is now time to be the bigger man, to extend an olive branch and unite all reasons